In this video, we will do a walkthrough of the user administration tool of After Incorporation. But first, a few background items. After Incorporation allows for several categories of users. This is important for various reasons. In some cases, different categories facilitate use of some of the more advanced features of After Incorporation, such as online voting, so that you know, for example, whether someone is voting in their capacity as an investor or as a director or a manager. Having categories of users helps facilitate that. It is also critical for managing communications, so that notices are sent to the right people. Finally, in some cases, the identity and the associated information of these users itself constitutes important company information. For example, that's the case with investors and their shareholdings. Okay, so here's a quick list of the various user types at After Incorporation. Account managers are the super users, and they have the ability to not only create and manage content on the site, but also to manage access and categorization of other users. For example, account managers can edit user information or remove users altogether. And this video is primarily for account managers. Okay, investors will typically be your shareholders if you're a corporation, or your members if you're an LLC. Since After Incorporation works for both types of legal entities, the more generic term of investor is used here. These next three user types are all considered management users and are applicable to the management tool. Directors are relevant if you're a corporation, and managers are relevant if you're an LLC. Officers are relevant to both. Finally, we have the other user category, and this is a generic user role that can be used for anyone else who you want to have access to After Incorporation. Other users don't vote, nor do they have company data associated with them. These are people like your accountant, your lawyer, key employees, or really anyone else that you as an account manager determine should have access. Okay, so now let's dive into the user administration tool itself, where these different user groups are managed. As mentioned before, this tool is only available to account managers. So, after you've logged into After Incorporation and selected a company on your dashboard, you will be taken to this landing page. If you are an account manager for this company, you will see that you have access to one tool that the other users do not. And that, of course, is the user administration tool. This tool can always be accessed by clicking on this link, which will always be here at the top of the page, really regardless of what page you are in your company's account. So let's go now to the actual tool. All users with access to your company's account will be listed here, along with some basic information, such as their name, date, that they became a user, their email, and their user type. More information can be accessed by clicking on a username. You will notice in this example that some people are listed twice. This is because a user can have multiple roles. For example, Investor 1 here is an officer, a manager, and an investor. This reflects the different roles he has with this company and is important for tracking his information and decisions with respect to those different roles. He can operate in a variety of capacities. These buttons on the right let you do a few things. The first of the three buttons allows you to send out emails to all users or all users of a particular category. This tool is convenient, for instance, if you wanted to let all users know that new information had been posted or created in the account. The button on the right lets you remove a user entirely from the account. The button in the middle then lets you edit the information and access permissions for any user. Finally, from this page, you can add some of the users. Specifically, you can only add, quote, other users or, quote, account managers from this page. The management user types and the investor user types are added in the management tools and the investor tools respectively, for reasons that will become apparent when using those tools. But you can access and edit the basic information of any user here. Let's walk through the steps for adding a user. You will first be asked to input an email address, which After Incorporation uses to identify whether a person is already a user of After Incorporation. You are then taken to a standard template. Most of this is self-explanatory. However, there are two fields that are important here: user type and access. User type gives you the option to appoint the type of user, such as another account manager or an other user. Separately, you can provide the level of access that this user will have. The access field presents three alternatives: edit, view, and no access. As you might imagine, edit access allows a user to edit and remove content. View access allows a user to view data only. And then no access gives a user no access to the data contained in the company's account. Why would we ever want to restrict a user from having any access? Why have them as a user in the first place in that case? Well, perhaps the user is an officer in the company who you need to list as an officer and maybe you need to send emails or information to from time to time, but that person has no need for day-to-day access to sensitive investor information. Or maybe you have a minority investor who no longer has voting rights, and hence no need to access the tools. While it is unusual to have users without any access, sometimes it does make sense. While the user administration tool is designed to help you manage the day-to-day access to your account, remember that it is flexible enough to accommodate special occasions when you might wish to give access to your corporate records, such as during an audit, or if you're selling your business and the potential buyer needs to perform due diligence. In these contexts, your account in After Incorporation can work as a simple data site, with you as the account manager having control over who has access and when. We hope this has answered some of your questions about managing users in After Incorporation, but as always, don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have any other questions. Thank you.